Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. Those of us who love playing war games. I presume most of you would fall into that category. And I, of course, am Gamer 1745 here, and we are playing a fantasy scenario, though I've come to believe it's not as ludicrous as a fantasy as it might be. May talk about that a bit later. I know I've talked about it before if you've been watching all the episodes. So, and that is that what if the French had intervened on the side of the Confederacy, actually joined the war, and what that would have meant to the American Civil War. So we're going to, now things are still very much in the balance. Okay, it's 1864. Realize this is about the time the war is starting to wind up here. I think we will be refighting the Battle of Gettysburg, although I don't think it's going to be a major fight here soon. And we've secured the lower Mississippi currently. Yeah, there's no garrisons down in New Orleans, and we might shift a brigade or something down there. That might be a good idea at some point. But we do have a what they call a wood-clad, timber-clad, I guess, and a bunch of French naval forces sitting out here. So yeah, we've got Vicksburg in the lower Mississippi, but they still got Memphis, some other elements pushing in hard on our flank here, with some corps here in Tennessee, which we're holding. Not yet got Kentucky back or into the Confederacy. It never was, but it was a slave state, and so was Missouri. So we're doing well. I'm not suggesting we're not, but I don't know what's up with the Union still has, and they got a lot of forces in here. So we still not been able to do that. We still have to watch, especially here. Now, once you get to the Appalachians, you just have to watch a few of the roads or things start to starve. And we have, and I guess we'll start here. We have couple of Union monitor armored, ironclads. So let's do this. And we also have the H.L. Hunley submarine. So let's... Ooh, wow, it took that right out. Okay, we'll leave that there. Now this guy, let's see, we will see what we can do. We get him up to there, that's good. That's going to be painful, but we could do it. Reduce that down a bit, and then, okay. Now, how many points? 114. Okay, I think we will take it. Now, we are also, or the French are fighting in Mexico, and we're very much on the defensive at the moment. So, which, with some Union forces down here that we have to worry about as well. So, what you might take as to be an easy victory, it is not. We're bringing reinforcements, and there are going to be a couple of corps and some engineers that may turn the tide there again favorably. Now here, we could race up to there, but I think what we want to do is come here and see that Grenville is unoccupied, which I expected it to be occupied. These divisions and corps. Okay, well, did mention a garrison for Mississippi here, so we were to spend the 37 MPP and get you right down here, just in case something were to pop up there, as it were. I'm guessing there's somebody there. At least there had been somebody there, that I'm sure of. We have 2 corps over here. I think getting Western Tennessee is, maybe because we already have a corps over here, is more important than pushing into Missouri with that. So, let's move you both of these guys up to where they'll get onto the railways. You want to, with a game like this, if you're going to move something on the railway, get the units that are farthest from the target, as opposed to closer ones that you can walk. Well, let's keep that decision for the moment. Fayetteville there. And right now, I do know, because I was looking around, we can build some Cherokee units here. And we'll build another one. So I think that will get all of our possible Indian reinforcements done. Oh, well, we don't have Arno here yet, so I will, let's see what we can do. Not used to needing to ban people, because normally I do have Arno here. Or Whisper. Look, there we go. Right. Bots, because I'm presuming that's a bot here. Or someone trying to promote things. Move you up like that. We're going to take the time. Oh, okay. Oh, you're probably not getting enough supply. Let's look at supply 4. Yeah, that's the sort of problem. Trying to get you better reinforced. Over here, where we facing a core. About the point, so let's get infantry equipment skirmishers up. Now down here. Well, that didn't take them out like I hoped, but weakened them considerably, I'm sure. Now, like I said, we are looking at another Battle of Gettysburg, or a Battle of Gettysburg. There we go. Okay. Harrisburg? Yeah, Harrisburg. Okay, so they've got Harrisburg with 2 divisions and a brigade behind it. Ouch. Cavalry nearby. Yep. Yep. Oh. Just made the mistake of moving in this without taking a good look around first. I might be making a serious mistake by not keeping my force concentrated here. My current goal is to isolate Washington, because so long as they can keep bringing in forces via the railroad, I think they'll be able to withstand a lot of sieging. So we cut the railroads all the way through here. We can do better. They're still going to be able to get around, into Pennsylvania here. I think so. Yeah, bring him up. Withdraw you back a little bit. We're gonna pay the price. Okay, it's gonna come off of France, but I want to get you down here. So I want to take Fort Hatteras here to open up supply lines to the continent. Well, if we move those 2 brigades and a division up here. That's going to be a fair amount. We don't have a lot of supply sources here compared to here with all the railways, so I'm thinking it would be best. Well, we get up to the railroad faster that way, so they're both going to be there. So we just need to get them on the railway tracks, I think. Like I said, would be best. Down here, we've been sort of successful. We got that one unit there to still take care of. Up here, we are mostly just on the defensive. And that guy, no, that guy can't be. I think we're going to stay that way for the moment. Go for the Confederacy. We still have a lot of points, but we can't expand too much. Well, price we'll name it after. We'll do a timber-clad. We're going to do another armored train. That will, we still want to keep a good cushion of forces. Didn't mean to zoom out that far. Just sort of to there. Hey, Drunken Barbarian. Oh, hey, thank you so much for the, sorry I didn't see it quicker, for the contribution, the chat. Thank you very much for £5. Yes, good to have you back. I hope things have been well with you. Been sort of missing chatting with you, of course. And hello, Turn Low. How you doing? Yes, it is morning for me out here in California. Okay. Yeah, no, we're not going to attack there. What I want to do here is spot that. I'm going to move you up behind the river. Oh, okay. Yeah, let's look at supply currently. Next turn, it's thinking it's going to go up a little bit, but we move back along our supply lines here. We'll get better. Reinforcements. Now we're also going to move you into here. Move you up to there to push on. The river fronts. I think we're okay. That core is pretty dangerous if it's at full strength, but I think we're okay for the moment. Now, a little bit of chatter here from me on. I don't know how well this war game will simulate it. And right now, I haven't looked up all the details recently, but the Union definitely is, running a draft. There is the Copperhead movement, and I don't know a lot about it. And if you don't know about the Copperhead movement at all, I know to some degree it's, I wish it was sort of this part of the United States. There were a lot of people that might be called Southern sympathizers. The Copperheads I think varied to one extent to being, significantly Southern sympathizers, to I just don't really care enough to fight over this issue, kind of thing. So whether they sympathized, thank you so much. I will definitely do that, or do something. Yeah. Okay. And hello, the new IKB. So, a lot of people, of course, don't want their life to be interrupted by being drafted at one level, and of course don't want to fight and die for a cause that they don't really care about. Most of the soldiers fighting in the Union were not fighting to free the slaves. Um, that is, I would say, significantly a retcon if people promote that up. I think they were fighting to preserve the Union most. There were obviously, and in my opinion, no two ways about it. John Brown was a terrorist. I totally believe he was a terrorist. Now, you might think his cause of freeing the slaves is a good cause, but he was very willing with the idea of a slave uprising and just killing, the slaveholders. Yeah, but and it's not just limited to people with guns in their hands, which would have included women at the time just defending their homes. It would have been killing everybody, I believe. So, Yoshihisa Shimazu is here as well. Thank you for showing up as well. So, and yeah, so it was, and he definitely, okay, definitely. My understanding is John Brown in the fighting out here in Missouri as to what in Kansas and whatnot, as to what was going to be a free state and a slave state. He was doing terroristic acts as well. So, not to say that there weren't Southerners doing the same thing. I don't want to try to make it him out to be the only one. I know a lot of people celebrate Brown today, and I understand and totally agree with his desire to want to free the slaves. That part I am not thinking is in any way a bad sentiment. It's just, you look at what happens with Britain and the Wilberforce movement, as I don't know if it's the standard calling, but I like to promote his name up as part of it because I think he was sort of the heart of it, if you will, which is to get rid of slavery within the British Empire. The government it's a forced buyback, but they buy the slaves from the slave owners. And you didn't have to do that with the Confederacy, but you see, that's on the one side is buying, doing a forced buyback at some sort of standardized price. Whether I don't know whether the slave owners would have considered it good or bad price, but between that versus just a blanket statement of, hey, free now, everyone is free. So, pushing for, get the slaves free, running an underground railroad, which is obviously breaking the law. That's different than trying to, or killing people. Yes, to free other people, I know and I get it, but it is still killing people, which is just going to lead to more and more violence. It's like, I see the Great Black Swamp Gamer. We can drain it and use it for farmland. I'm not exactly sure. what what you're referring to there, AKB. Um, Good to have you here, Arno. Good to have you here. So, there was a lot of racism in the North, but racism doesn't equate to agreeing with slavery. There were a lot of people in the North. I would say the overwhelming majority, I mean overwhelming, not just a small minority, or a small majority, an overwhelming majority, were against slavery. But that doesn't mean they want to go off and fight and die to free some other people. It's like, hey, think of the slaves that are around the world today, and just up by Michigan, Big Swamp. Oh, but yeah, okay. Here. Oh, the Great Black Swamp. Oh, okay. Thank you, IKB. I didn't particularly know about this. I had a friend who was from Michigan, but I don't know much about this area of the United States. The closest thing I think it was in Chicago, stopped at the airport once. Didn't leave the airport, just change airplanes and go on from there. And since there's very little battles fought out here, I don't know. I know there's some here for the War of 1812, but not much. So, yeah. Um, we can look at slaves, and it depends on how you try to define slavery, but there's a lot of slavery still in America. Now it's a lot more informal in that the government doesn't recognize ownership. It's much more people that are smuggled into America, not just up from the south of the border, but in the past, Chinese and other people incur great debts on being smuggled into America and have to work them off, and crime gangs, enforce that, shall we say. So, there's things like that are, government opposed, that illegal on this sort of scale. And is that slavery? Well, yeah, sort of. It's a debt slavery to crime gangs and whatnot. To like what's going on in China with the Uyghurs, an institutionalized government system that is, not slavery owned to a person or a gang or whatever, but slavery to a government kind of thing, and different things going on. And I understand slavery is rampant in places like Libya. And again, it's, how do you define it? Is it, how formal is the slavery? And I think it is sort of formal there. And so, we have slaves, but do we really want to end slavery and say in Libya? Is it worth invading Libya? And we've sort of kind of, toppled the government there that was I don't have good feelings towards Gaddafi, shall we say. So, with the, bringing down Gaddafi, it caused chaos, but, yeah. Now there's lawlessness or lack of central government control, and supposedly there's a bit of a, rebirthing of slavery there with people that have come up from southern Africa. How many people in Europe or how many people in America are going to be, send in the troops to free the slaves today? So, you get that point. And so how many people want to fight in the American Civil War just to free the slaves, knowing that they're going to lose lives, other Northerners are going to lose lives, Southerners are going to lose lives? Can't we solve this, even take longer, but solve this through other means than a war? That's what I think a lot of the Northerners we're hoping for, then of course you get the Civil War. And from my understanding in the South was, especially the sort of northern, Virginia, Kentucky, Arkansas, Texas kind of states, if you will, they weren't going to secede from the Union until Lincoln does his, what it was, in like a 90-day call up or 70-day or whatever it was, his call up for volunteers, and because he was going to be invading the South. And they then decide to go, leave because of federal domination kind of thing. So that gets a great amount of patriotic fervor in the South to fight. Now, if we're doing not just a brief raid into Pennsylvania, but if we're starting to invade into the North, I think there's going to be a lot more manpower made available to the military than there was, because, and there was a lot. There were a lot of troops stationed in northern areas. Not going to say it has like the density of the frontline areas, but there, we can see here there it does have defense in depth, shall we say, and particularly some of these major cities here, along the Great Lakes and whatnot, they're large populations. So whether they are a local militia type formation or an out and out federal military unit, I don't know, but there's a lot of that. So I could see a apparent successful invasion of the North and persistent one, meaning you're coming in and staying for a while, really pushing a lot more effort by the Union. And I don't know how this game simulates that, but we've obviously started to clear out a lot of the invasion into the South. So in that way, I don't know. I didn't know you had knee pain again. Sorry to hear that. So yeah, that's sort of my view of they were still very much in the balance. And so again, I don't know how this game is going to handle it, but this could really flip either way with a large surge of troops. Well, I would say fighting spirit has fallen because of getting Gettysburg. Yeah, we get it. The Waristas are everywhere doing guerrilla activity, and we don't have enough occupation troops. I get that. Well, good to hear that it's manageable. Uh-oh. Good thing we repaired one of those ships fully. Yeah, okay, he's falling back to Grenville. Don't know if you wanted. I don't know if you mentioned where you had been. If you want to say it sounds like you were. I know from your earlier message that you got back into Britain, but don't know if you want to tell us of your adventures. Okay, yeah, you're still thinking down here. No, whoop. Don't sink my ships. Really coming out of this. Enemy contact. Okay. Oh man. Oh. They're falling back there, it looks like. Realizing they're getting a bit cut off. Now, Kentucky was a slave state, so a lot of people would be pro-Confederate there. Oh, we get it, we get it. Boom, boom, boom. Ah! Cool, Drunken Barbarian. I knew you were a paramedic. Didn't know you were training. Very good. Very good to hear. Glad you made it back safely and everything. Okay, well, we've been a little bit of a pushback here, I know, with what just happened there and losing a core. So, yep, we're going to come there. I pushed on one of my cores. Okay, so what we need to do, we're going to need to do some stuff there. Now here, we're going to move out our big we're going to move you as a blocking force to there. We're going to move you into port and you into port. Okay, so we lost a core here, but we probably need to fall back. Okay, so fall back behind the river there. Moved our ships the last time. No, okay, it was just this one. Right, okay. No railways in Mexico at this time, so they've got to march. Yes, we have the French helping in the Confederacy, but I've sent a good I sent two of the four corps that the French had out already. Sent them to Mexico because we're not doing so hot in Mexico. I'd love to talk to you sometime about that, Drunken Barbarian, when not live on chat, like in the Discord server or something. if you want to chat about it at some time. If you don't, I totally understand that too. I'd love to hear some more details about that. Okay, well, let's come down here. Oh, they got hit us harder, but okay. Well, now out here, let me get there. Yeah, I would sometime love to talk to you about that. I do know a few people in Ukraine, some Ukrainians and whatnot, but I'd love to hear more about what you experienced. Okay, well, now if I move to here, there's going to be I'm afraid there's going to be a Union unit. Where did my cavalry go? My cavalry's over here. Okay, that didn't end very well. I need more cavalry. The eyes of the army, yes. Oh yeah, but it's still, I'm sure, a fascinating story. Yeah, I think it'll have the best initial. Hoping to take this whole force out right now. There we go. They stayed too long, got surrounded. I guess there's somebody there. Rating. Cavalry, Rangers, which function about the same. See, now that we spot that. Okay, don't have him tell his whole story now. I want to talk to him, and when he can really actually sort of chat. Arno. Arno, can you do me a favor? Drop links to Crisis Report in both YouTube chat and Twitch chat for me. Okay, now we can come into there. That would be nice. Oh, he's not on the railway. Oh, but he is. It's expensive. Can we get up? No, it's not worth it. Oh, it's cut off there. Thank you, Arna. Do appreciate it. Oh, undo that. We're going to go back to there because you're a bit beat up. Thank you, IKP. That's really nice of you. Now that we're here, let's see if we can fully get reinforced there. That is another project of mine that I haven't posted anything recently, and that has been because I guess I would call it, and I'd love to hear what somebody who's been in the area not thinks about it. That there's been sort of a stalemate in Ukraine. Small events definitely happening, but not so much big events. Yes, if you want to hear what either I think is important to we're going to move you on to some railways here. You're going to come down here. Just look into there. You're going to move. What I think is important to know about and what I think about it is sort of the purpose of the channel. Because sometimes it's where you focus the camera is important. You know, oh, I should have been moving you up last turn as well. And then, but it's also here. I think we'll get it this time. Can we? Can we? No, we can't. Oh, we moved out. Okay, well, you moved in there, so now you no longer have supply, so you're going to die. Let's move you out to get you heading over to here.